Listen, you couldn't make up what you're about to see in this video, even if you tried. This was an organic moment, and of course, we're calling this organic coffee. Organic coffee. So, in the cowboy hat there we have Van Lathan. Next to him we have Rachel Lindsay. That's the woman there in the middle. And familiar face to a lot of you guys, that's TK Kirkland, comedian, actor. And so they're having a conversation here. He is the guest on this podcast, by the way. And they're having a conversation here that I can only assume is about therapy and the history of child support, because that's what the title says. But the viral clip that I recently saw was what happened towards the end when they thought the podcast was over. The guest is getting up to leave, saying his goodbyes, and he asks the female host right there, Rachel Lindsay, one question that she probably now regrets being petty about. But he asks her one question. And that question was, do you have any children? Watch how this played out. We're about to get into it.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Exactly. Oh, good interview. Good interview. Good interview.
So nice to meet you.
So you got a kid?
No, well, my exes might as well be my child. I pay alimony.
Ooh. Did you hear that? My ex might as well be my child. I pay alimony. Let's keep listening.
Oh, you got caught up, huh? So he got you.
Yeah.
He got you.
Good.
Yeah.
Got a good.
Yeah.
Got a
Yeah, he
good.
got you.
Bad.
I don't know whether to be happy or...
I mean, happy because I got out of it.
No, happy for the...
Oh, I'm
See,
so glad you didn't say that on
Shit,
the podcast.
he came up on $500,000.
Yeah, I'm happy for the... Yeah.
Why? Why?
Because it's good sometimes for the man to win. See?
Why?
She's triggered.
But you see what
When
I'm
he's
saying?
fully capable, when he's an adult, older than me, fully capable of working, a licensed professional, but used the system to come up, took advantage of me. You okay with that?
No, just because it's you personally, no. But watch what I'm about to tell you.
Tell me.
Women been doing it to men since the beginning of
Doesn't
time.
make it right.
Oh, yes.
I don't agree with you taking advantage of a system because it's there.
No.
I don't agree with that.
Only
Damn, we should have did this on the show.
Cameras are still rolling?
Yeah, only because it's you, I'm concerned.
The male host there just cares about the drama. He's like, damn it. Are we getting this? This is good shit.
Because we have a relationship now. Or if it was my daughter, I would be concerned. But the fact is, it's a system that's there to be taken advantage of.
So you
These are the
should
facts.
because you can. Is that what you're saying?
I'm at the point in life, however the cards play out for you, and the way you lay your head down on the pillow at night, you got to be happy. If that means he had to do what he had to do to get you, I'm sorry that he did that shit. Listen to me. I'm sorry, darling.
You say you're anti-child support. You gotta be anti-people taking advantage of the
I'm
system.
sorry that happened to you.
All right. So for those of you who might be lost, just because this was unplanned, right? They didn't plan to ask this question or get into this conversation. She says, after he asks the question, this is what happened first. He asked the question, do you have any children? She responds and says, you know what? I pay alimony to my ex, her ex-husband. And so, yeah, I do have a child. So that's a dig at her ex-husband publicly on the platform to embarrass him. Now, she didn't expect him to react in almost like a celebratory way. He was like, I'm not sure if I should be happy for him or sad. If you're wondering why would he say that, well, that's because men rarely get that W when it comes to the court system, right? When it comes to family court, when it comes to alimony, so on and so forth. She's immediately offended by that and says, I thought you were against child support. How could you support a grown man who can work, who's bodily abled to use the system? How could you support that? And that's when he says, listen, the system is there to be taken advantage of, if I remember correctly. And so based on this conversation, I can only assume that while they were talking, he made it very clear that he thinks child support is a scam. We can all agree with that. We know there has to be fraud going on there. You know, you have Doge that was looking into it. We might see something that may come out of that. That's not what this topic is about. But I can touch and agree on that with TK Kirkland. Now, when it comes to her, she's upset that her ex-husband took advantage of the very system that we see a lot of women today take advantage of. That's the conversation that's happening here. And she tries to soften the blow by saying, hey, now we have a relationship. I feel sad for you. You know, it's like if it was my daughter, I wouldn't be celebrating. And I don't blame him. I feel the same way.
Drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better.
I feel the same way. Drink the coffee. When I hear a dude got the upper hand in court, because it rarely happens, I'm like, man, that's what's up. Good for you. Right? Now, I don't want that to happen to, if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her to pay alimony. God forbid she's in a state where, you know, you're paying it for an extended period of time. I don't know if they still have lifelong alimony in some states. I'm sure they do. Just craziness, right? So that's the conversation that's being had here.
But I guarantee as you move forward through life, you'll never make that
I never would. It's the most expensive mistake I made.
That's my point about the same stuff I was saying about life. The same thing I looked.
It's crazy. When y'all started talking, I looked at Rachel. I thought she was still wearing the ring.
Oh my God, no.
I'm talking. So what I'm saying is,
I need to be saved now.
Your experiences have taught you who to stay away from and who to talk. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
That's my point, love.
But that don't mean we have to congratulate him.
No.
She didn't like that.
As a G. Salute that. If I saw about now, like I said, but it's personal now because we family.
It's personal.
Now, we family now. We family. I feel sorry that happened for you.
Thank you.
You know, but for the system,
that.
that's one for the crew.
There are a lot of people who think like you. There are a lot of people who do.
That. God damn.
Donnie, did you get all of that?
Yeah, we've been rolling.
Okay.
I love it.
I want that cut out as a social breakout before the interview. I want to post that today.
What you want to pose?
What y'all just talking?
Because it's a big deal. Because he's not black, too, by
He's
the
a
way.
white belt.
Oh, even better.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
What? Good for him. Yeah.
Get out.
Oh,
All I took from that is that you rejoice in the downfall of women.
Get that on tape.
Rejoices in the downfall of black. That's all I heard.
She talk about domestic violence. She let a white mother pimple to the game and got a half million who raised you.
A federal judge.
Oh my God.
All right. So that's that. And for you guys that don't know, she was on The Bachelor, and that's how she got matched with who was then her husband. In fact, a lot of chicks looked up to their marriage as inspiration. You know, they were a swirl couple. You guys know how it is when you see a black woman, you know, probably a wonderful lady here. There's nothing wrong. Go where you wanted, go where you're pleased. I encourage you to go, whoever you are, to go where you're accepted. But that doesn't guarantee happily ever after, you know, which is why I'm always confused when I see people brag about how they're dating other races. To me, I'm like, hey, a marriage is still work, right? But she had to come out and announce that divorce, and I believe he divorced her. That's just what it looked like, and that was tough for her to do.
So we met, we dated for 2.5 years, we got married. And we were looked at as one of the more successful relationships that came from the show.
Yeah.
Anywhere I went, people would ask me about my relationship and how you're doing, and you know, when are you having kids, and all the things that were wrapped up in that. And you feel the public pressure to always let people know that everything's great, even though behind closed doors that might not be the case, or that you're working on it, or that you're having a bad day, or whatever it may be. And a lot of that is wrapped up in, you know, shame. You don't want to say that it failed. You're scared for people to see you in a different way.
How long did you know it was going south before you admitted it, one to yourself?
The day after you got
to
married?
the public?
It's even, not the day, not the day after. It's even hard to admit it publicly now. I would probably say maybe I saw signs before. But
before the marriage?
Before the marriage, but as women, we're fixers, and we think we can figure it out.
They're a challenge to us.
They're a challenge to us, but
that.
eventually I saw it more. I would say within 2 years.
All right, so that's that. You know, I always look at people within a relationship differently than I look at them in the general public operating in life. You know, just because you may make a good friend doesn't mean that you make a good wife, doesn't mean that you make a good husband. That takes work and a lot of blessing from God and a little bit of luck. From what I've seen, no one has the answers. Nobody. You just pray and hope that the both of you are able to keep fighting to see that thing to success. But the question people had was, you knowing the risks that come with marriage, why didn't you sign a prenuptial agreement? We're going to get to that. Let's read some comments first that came from this last section that I played earlier and see what people had to say. Top comment here says, I agree with dude. For years, women been claiming it costs $45K a month to buy diapers and cereal. And somebody else here, let's read a few more comments here, see what responses we have from other people. This woman here says, yeah, I'm gonna stay single, LOL. If they don't take from you, they root for the ones that did. Somebody else here added, are y'all surprised? Coming from TK Kirkland, I'm not surprised. I'm so surprised that Van even has this dude on his show. He adds no value to any topic. It's supposed to say he lacks the depth or range to sit and discuss anything with either Rachel or Van. Really? Why would you think that? You see, you lack depth when it comes to a lot of modern chicks if you cannot agree with their stance or they just don't drink coffee, right? Next comment here says, it's cool when women do it though. LOL. Pay that tab and keep it moving. Somebody else here says, if able-bodied women can get alimony, men can too. It's really that simple. It is really that simple. This is why I've said many, many times, guys, is when I create videos of men getting got in court and they're paying alimony and child support and they're losing their job, getting arrested, an inch away from deleting themselves, no one cares. No one cares. Nobody. But when we see a woman going through it, now women are chiming in. Now the video is getting a bit more traction. Now the conversation gets taken a little bit more seriously. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way society is. What does that mean? The more women that get put in her position, the more women who are put on child support, when they can be truly equal, okay? Because women say they can do anything that a man can do, right? Yeah. When they're truly equal, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Yeah. When they're truly equal to men is when they'll finally say, you know what? These laws have to change.
No, I'll have a tea actually.
I'll have a tea actually. This has been too much coffee for me. I don't even drink coffee. I don't even like caffeine. We got somebody else here who added, to be 65 years old and talk like this way is troubling. The elder is supposed to be teaching us something. Somebody else here says, blessed be the fruit. I may be confused about why they are addressing this clip like it was problematic. This clip is what I just showed you. Maybe there was something said in the longer format that they disagree with. And if you guys want me to react to that, I'll react to that as well. I'm confused. What are they talking about? What's problematic about what he said? Somebody responded back and says, everyone gives an F. It's not troubling. LOL. There's no rules they have to live by because of their age. Exactly. And if you don't think like them, something's wrong with you. Life taught her already. Prenups. Right. There we go. That's the next conversation. People were wondering, why did she not sign a prenup?
Our bachelorette, Rachel Lindsay, is opening up as to why she didn't get a prenup before marrying her soon-to-be ex-husband, Brian Abasolo. A lot of people have been curious as to why she didn't, because now Brian is seeking emergency spousal support and requesting Rachel to pay his at least $75,000 for his legal fees. Rachel decided to clear things up on Natasha Parker's podcast, Hidden Gems. And the reason why Rachel didn't sign a prenup was because back then she was in a completely different financial situation than what she is in now.
Okay. Yeah. That's a huge mistake people make, right? They don't perceive that life can change for the better drastically. So maybe they had about the same earning potential at the time, and because of her popularity and her personality and brand, she rose up in her earning potential, and he kind of stagnated, and he's over there rubbing his hands, and he capitalized on that opportunity. From what I hear, she paid all the court fees and paid a lot of money on top of that $500,000. You know what's crazy? This here is actually pretty rare when it comes to chicks and prenuptial agreements. Women who see themselves earning more money over time. Very rare for them to not get prenuptial agreements. The hardest people to convince to get a prenup are men. Women, they don't have to be taught. You know this. To ask for resources, to extract resources from you, to expect resources from you, and also to protect their resources and money. Men, on the other hand, even men who drink coffee, have to sometimes be nudged. How do you know, Chisha? I've helped hundreds of men at this point learn about how to properly approach getting a solid and legally binding prenuptial agreement via my company, fathershaverights.com. I'm always very, very interested because it's not an easy thing for a lot of men to do.
She said back then her and Brian were more leveled, and they also didn't live in California. Rachel also said that she did tell Brian that she thought it was a good idea for them to get a prenup when they first got engaged, but they weren't seeing eye to eye on it, and she didn't want to make it a bigger issue. She also said that hindsight is 20/20, and she wished she would have gotten it. Natasha also asked Rachel if their split was amicable, and she said it was. She didn't give specifics, but she did say that they had issues that they were trying to work through, and also that she thought that Brian's filing was unnecessarily messy. Let me know what you guys think about this down below. And also,
look at this photo, bro. This man knew he was on a come up. I mean, $500,000 smile.
And by when? You've probably heard by now that former Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay, she's going to have to pay her ex Brian $500,000. Yes, Brian, who is laid up and not working, who only reported his earnings as $16,000, which Rachel said he could have made more working at McDonald's, but he don't want to work. So now because she didn't have a prenup, she's got to pay up.
Right.
Now Rachel is going to get to keep the engagement ring she got through the show, their home, a 2023 Porsche. Brian is going to get the condo and a Honda Accord. However, her failure to get that prenup is why she's in this position. Let Rachel and Holly Berry be your example that prenups are actually for everybody. This is not 1960. You could end up paying somebody if your marriage ends.
It says Brian Abasolo, I think. Yeah, I tried my best. Long story short, he needs that. He needs that in the account, fast, not slow. Listen, I hope to my soon-to-be married or currently engaged men that you're taking advantage of the resources available to you at fathershaverights.com. That's one. Two, how crazy is it that it's exactly what you would expect it would look like when a woman's on the other end and the rabbit's got the gun and now you're paying alimony. One more thing. We got to make sure. I'm not sure if she's still paying. Sound like she did like a one lump sum type situation, but we're about to find out. Miss Coffee, is Rachel Lindsay still paying alimony to her ex-husband currently, 2025?
As of April, Rachel Lindsay is not paying ongoing alimony to her ex-husband, Brian Abasolo. Their divorce settlement, finalized in January 2025, required Lindsay to make a lump sum equalization payment of $500,000 to Abasolo. This payment was adjusted to, after deducting she had previously paid in temporary spousal support. The settlement stipulates that this amount is to be paid in 2 installments, the first half by January 17th, 2025, and the remaining half by January 7th, 2026.
He needs that. 2026?
With a 3% annual interest rate on the latter installment.
That's right.
CosmopolitanPlustonPeople.com.
That's right. Guys, of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think? Leave your comments down below. Appreciate you. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.